he's going to work to try to get a win here as well. He's one of the 3 guys that has been ranked for the Badgers all year. So the Badgers are looking for him to come out and get another win for these guys.
Condon on the year, one of 3 Badgers who are ranked nationally, redshirt freshman, 13-9 on the year out of Poway, California. Taking on Nick Fox. Weren't sure if he was going to go at it or not. He's 18-5 on the year.
Yeah, it seems like they held back Sima. He was one of the guys that wrestled for these guys at the Iowa State duel. So looks like they're giving some guys some opportunities to wrestle, and here's one of your redshirt freshmen that UNI is throwing in to see what he can do. So we'll see how he pans up against Luke Condon, and these are one of those matches that we should see what happens. And as I say that, UNI special, head outside single, they love to get there. So here's Luke Condon's opportunity to try to get a score here. He's got to get those hands locked. Should be looking for a cradle here. If he can't get the hands unlocked, he should be looking for a cradle. There you go, ref secures the 3. Luke Condon's got a couple wins for himself. I think he's doing real well in the Big Ten. He ended up winning Michigan State here at home. One of the guys that won those matches in that duel.
Yeah, talk about that Michigan State meet, Coach. Wisconsin, that's going to be their building block going into the offseason. 25-12 victory. I'll tell you what, myself and Nate Arcanigo, we were having fun up here, and you just didn't visit us, Coach.
Yeah, I didn't want to bother you guys. I want to sit in the stands.
Bother?
Just
oh my gosh.
Just be a spectator for that one. But that was a good one. That was exciting. And like I said, I believe they won 6 out of 10 of those matches. And like I always talk about, when it comes to Big Ten wrestling, if you can find a way to win, over 50% of your matches, you're going to end up winning the duel if no big points like pins and, techs are given up. So that's what they did. They came out and they got their first Big Ten dual win of the year in front of their home crowd. So I'm sure a lot of Badger fans were appreciative of that. So now, like you said, it's a building block, and we keep continuing on till next year. And like I said, Badgers get some seniors back, and we can keep moving forward and figuring it out.
Condon got himself a victory last time out over Aiden Vandenbush, 12-6.
That was against Northwestern, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The Badger bench want to take down there, not going to get it.
Yeah, they call a stalling on the Badger there. Looks like Schwab's throwing the brick in, call for locked hands on the edge of the mat. It's kind of fun to see this action, especially towards the end of periods. Guys kind of go a little bit harder to try to score points, like I always talk about. And sometimes guys make mistakes and they lock their hands or they give up the takedown, but the whole goal of wrestling is to create action, and the more action you can create, the better opportunity you got to score points.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of, I remember just a 100-meter in high school, where sometimes you get a guy who has that extra kick right at the end, sometimes you get a guy who kind of eases up a bit, and all of a sudden,
boom, you get blown by. Yep, that's exactly what it is. So we'll see what the ref comes up with.
Well, let's talk about this Wisconsin Badger program, because, Coach, 5-11 on the year, 1-7 in the Big Ten. It feels like, you're someone, we can pull back the curtain a little bit. You're familiar with this organization. You spend some time with them. And you have this many young wrestlers. You talk about Royce Nilo in particular, just a guy you just want to try and get that experience in here, try and figure out some little things. And you think that there's a switch that can be flipped.
Yeah, man, and when you got a young team like this, it's all about building the culture. Once you're able to build the culture and, these guys start hitting the weight room, training a little bit harder, training all year round, doing off-season wrestling, then you start building the building blocks and these guys start gaining confidence. And as you look at some of the guys, they haven't even filled out into their weight classes yet. But as time goes on, first thing you got to build is the culture, and everything else kind of follows. If you look at Schwab and what he's done at UNI, he built the culture, and now look at his team. So it's just what you got to do. But looks like we got a no locked hands on that call, and Schwab wasn't very happy about that. So
Yeah, he took the words out of my mouth there, Coach. It just it goes to show what makes UNI so great, up 23-9 right now, and you've still got plenty of talent coming up for him. Do you still see your coach firing up, fighting for your guy? I guess spots like that when you're wrestling, it's got to make you feel good about your coach.
yeah, each in like even when you get into dual meets and teams get really it gets big and you start winning a lot of matches, you still got to take it match by match when you're a coach, because every kid that steps their foot on the mat deserves that type of energy that you give. You know what I mean? You can't just sit back and relax after you're up big. You got to look at every single match, and you gotta get up for that match no matter what the team score is. So that's the type of energy that Schwab brings. He wants every single match to be won for his kid, and I'm sure every coach wants that, right? You want to go 10-0 in every duel.
Meanwhile, it's another takedown for Condon. You fought for that one for a couple seconds, but able to finally drive Fox into the mat and add 3 more points to his name.
Yep, and it's like poetry right there. You attack the legs, and then you work up to the body. He had a sweep single on that, found a way to elevate the leg, and then next thing you know, he's wrapping around the waist, and boom, you got 3 for takedown. So great job by Luke Condon on that one. Now he's just riding him on the edge of the mat like I talked about, just clocking up points when you're on top on the edge of the mat, showing the ref you're working, and just keep clocking it. So again, he locks up the leg, locks up the body, and secures his takedown on that replay.
Luke Condon up 6-1. Had himself a rough night, though. His favorite sports team, he said multiple times, the Los Angeles Clippers, wound up blowing a fourth-quarter lead against the Bucks.
Oh,
maybe with some extra fury to his name.
I'm sure he wasn't really worried about that tonight. I think he had bigger fish to fry as he's stepping on the mat. But maybe when he goes home and he looks on the tracker at the bottom of ESPN, he'll see that his Clippers lost that matchup against the Bucks.
You a basketball guy, Coach?
No, I'm not. I focus too much on wrestling in the wintertime. I like watching football, bigger college football than NFL. So I'm hoping that Fickle can get us back on track next year. And
You're supposed to be unbiased, Coach.
Yeah, that's true.
Second period in the books. Condon a pair of takedowns. No escape for Fox, so now Condon will be probably have his eye on a major decision here.
Yeah, and he's got 2 minutes and 52 seconds of riding time, so I think that's locked up. Well, I guess you got to wait 8 seconds and he can get it locked up. But let's see if he can get to his feet and open up this score and try to go get at least a major decision here, if not a tech or a pin. He can't sit there. You got to keep his head up. Get to this tripod position. These guys got to start knee sliding a little bit more. See, Fox just cuts him. Let's see who gets aggressive here in this third period. Is Fox okay with giving up the major, or if Luke Condon's trying to go smell blood and get some bonus points for his team? Again, he's in on that leg. Now he's got to find a way to either capture both legs or work up to the body. Fox is really working the edge of this mat. Ref's going to probably end up calling stalemate here if nothing improves. So Luke's got to pick up that leg and pull him to the middle of the mat. Gets tricky trying to finish here on the edge.
Under a minute left, and
he gets a restart.
Yep.
Bono wants him to push. Let's see if Luke goes and gets this. And that's what I'm talking about the culture, you know what I mean? Like, when you're in this moment and you're up by 6 points and you know the next takedown can potentially get you that major for your team, it's not just winning the match. It's the culture of doing it for your team.
Yep. Because you're going to be that same point. Maybe instead of trying to get that major decision, you're instead down a bit and you fight your way back into it, that same mentality, and suddenly able to turn what would have been a loss into a win.
Correct, 100%. It works both ways, and that's the beauty about dual meets, right? Because, you know, anybody can go out there and just win, but sometimes you need that extra push, and the extra push is for your team. And, you know, if you can go out and push and get those extra points, then you get rewarded and your team gets rewarded. So,
well, Condon not able to earn that major decision, but still a win to his ledger against Nick Fox. And for Wisconsin, quietly, they've taken 4 so far here, Coach.
Yeah, they're really fighting back.